from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Like they always say things that aren't stupid usually. And when they are stupid, it's funny.
And good morning, everybody. Hey, Paul.
Good morning.
Paul's got the forecast right now.
Down Jersey City right now, 63 degrees. Areas of fog early this morning, followed by partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Highs will be somewhere around 78 degrees. But tonight, cloudy, fog developing late, lows around 60 degrees. And of course, for you Saturday, it's going to be morning fog, then clouds this afternoon. Maybe cloudy, but highs will be somewhere around 80 degrees. So it's time to warm up, my good man.
It's about time.
Yeah, and for Sunday, again, some reason we keep getting this cloudy skies with partial sunshine. Expected high somewhere around 76 degrees. And of course, for Monday, it's not looking good. Cloudy early with partial sunshine. Expected stray showers around the afternoon. Highs will be somewhere around 79 degrees. And that's your weather from SNSN on this Friday, 0513, so Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
Watch out for the guy with the mask. 2022.
You mean Kevin?
Kevin, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a mask on. Take it off, will you?
Put on a happy face.
Put on a happy face.
Good morning, Mr. Cunningham.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute, as they say.
Yeah.
What,
Couple of days.
Huh?
Couple of days.
Couple of days? Yeah. How long has it been? About 6 months?
3-4 months, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you? Is
Good.
budget season over for you yet?
Hopefully Monday.
Is that when your referendum is?
We don't have a referendum. It's a town meeting. The way our charter works states that if you have a tax increase, you go to a town meeting, which adjourns to a referendum.
But flat
or
decrease,
which is what we're doing this year is a decrease. Really? Then it adjourns to a town meeting, and the town meeting does a vote, and that's it. Hopefully if it passes, then we're all set, and we just move on.
Wow.
Well, isn't that special? How do we do that here?
What do you think? The hard way.
Huh?
The hard way.
I don't know. So you've had a few years now.
Yeah, this is
Which where the budget has been pretty much just, okay, here it is.
We have no change for 3 years. We've got actually a reduction this year. Next year is revals, and revals usually make a reduction because if you have higher property values, then your mill rate can be adjusted lower. So the calculations end up being a wash for the most part. Mm-hmm. So it'll be another reduction, hopefully. And then we'll work on the following after that.
Yeah.
So how are things going as far as economic development in the town? Uh-oh. That's something that you've worked very hard on, is it not?
Yeah, it's a matter of obviously helping and supporting those businesses coming into town so that they stay there. That's what I take pride in there. We have a lot of mom and pop shops that have opened up. We have obviously some larger companies coming in. Amazon is in a where they thought they were opening July, but there's a delay in some of the materials they're getting in for the site. Yep. So we're still planning on doing a job fair in October. We anticipate they'll be looking to open up immediately after that. Mm-hmm. There's another, if anybody is interested, you go on to the Plainfield, Connecticut Watchdog Media. You want to take a look at all the stuff that's happened. There's a lot of videos, but one important one there, the recent planning and zoning meeting, and that planning and zoning meeting talked about the changes that could possibly be coming up for multiple businesses coming into town. One being there's a proposed 1 million square foot warehouse up on the top of 14A, and that would just to get an idea how big that is. That's 5 times the size of what you have for the Amazon building.
Which one? The one over here in Plainfield, or the one up in Windsor?
The one in Plainfield.
Okay.
Yep. That is 977 parking spaces. It's got 200 loading dock bays. So
that's actually bigger than the Amazon deal.
Much bigger.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys got a lot of warehouses. You got Lowe's there, right?
Yep.
And now you got Amazon.
Yep.
I mean, coming to warehouse capital of Connecticut.
You have to understand, though, that's also what plan of conservation development talks about where they like to see things in the future, and they kind of give an idea or a roadmap, so to speak. Those areas are zoned for exactly what they're looking for. So
That's great.
that does work. So that's one of the items that is in the P&Z regs. So
Wow. Well, a lot of storage.
well, the last one being the end mile is actually the last distribution area. So that's when you see the vans going in and making distributions to your home.
Wow.
What's the key that you have found to economic development? Because it seems like since you have taken office in Plainfield, things have really started to flip. Businesses are coming in, things are starting to revive. Now, I'm not blaming anybody else, that came before you, but it's very obvious that there's a change in Plainfield. So what do you attribute that to?
There's people in town hall that work hard to help and support those people. So if you give a phone call in and say, hey, I'm interested in a piece of property, can I do this or that with it? And they would help them out to process it and see if it's something viable. Obviously, timing is everything with a lot of businesses. Whether it's a large business, whether it's the mom and pops that are coming in, the idea is to be able to work with them, see what their needs are, make sure that we're giving the right guidance, and then after that, once they're in, making sure that they still are viable and operating, and if there's any needs, what can we do for them? We try to do as much as we can. Right now, we'll be starting a new process for. You've seen a lot of ribbon cuttings on our town Facebook page and website. Sure. That's fantastic. We love the businesses coming in, but you also have to remember that the businesses that have been there for a while, you don't want to forget them and want to help and support them. So we're going to go through a program. We're going to start recognizing those businesses who've been there for between 1 and 5 years, promote them and put a blast out there on our social media site, because we want to make sure that we know that we're very thankful for them being there, and want to help and support them too, because every once in a while you go, I didn't know we had that in our town, and that helps to bring a bit more business to them. So that's all we do is we pay attention to the details. Some of it's lucky. Your different businesses that are just looking for the right timing for the national economic abilities to do something, and we're just being as helpful as we can to follow what we have for support.
Do you get much negativity from a lot of residents of certain businesses coming in saying, "No, I don't want that"?
Sure. I mean, the idea that what we've had recently is different businesses coming in, and I try to explain to them, you have to go back and take a look what it's zoned for. If that property is zoned for that item, then that's not really anything we've done wrong. Right. It's something that they should have been aware of before. If you're going to you own a property and you're living across the street from a commercial 50 acres, you don't think someday they're going to come along and say they're going to purchase property and do something with it? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just feel that it's when residents do that, they're against the resident who owns the property. I mean, it's their property. They should be able to do what the heck they want with it.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, that was at that meeting the other night for planning and zoning. And the property owner said, I'd like to work with a developer and do something with it. And some of the residents didn't like the idea, yet it's his property.
Exactly.
And it's zoned for what they're looking to do. And that's how it works.
Right.
I understand there's areas you need to protect and areas that you really want to promote to be more, rural, quiet. Yeah. But you have to follow all the guidelines.
Oh, of course.
So, one of the things that you and I have talked about before is why don't I get donuts for you?
Just for those people who don't think that this is something that ever has happened here, I'll pose. Usually it's a tease the other way around where I have to bring the donuts in.
Do you know? I mean, and this is really a lead in to something else, but donuts are up to $1.60 each in town here. $1.60.
Wow.
So how is stuff like that? I mean, is that affecting business in
Affects everything.
Plainfield, or have you heard anything? I mean, about struggles with what kind of things are you hearing in Plainfield?
Oh, I don't know about you, but do you have oil? Home heating oil?
Yes, sir.
You hear the struggles every day, which is it's a good lead into what we talked about for our town budget. We have a town budget. It's a public meeting on Monday, and when we were putting our budgets together, we were working closely with the Board of Finance and Board of Education, and the message right from day one was it's going to be a difficult year, and we want to make it so that we can help as many people as possible. You can't help everybody. I mean, that's the bottom line. You can't make it so every single person is going to be have a positive effect out of this. But really what happened was we saw the trending that was going on. We decided at that point we're going to either be 0 mil or bring it down lower. So that with that in mind, the Board of Finance being the most powerful board right now, they were the ones who said, okay, you got to cut and you got to cut.
We've said that, huh, Paul? The Board of Finance, they're the ones that they're the one that control the stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they were to say to each of the Board of Ed and Board of Selectmen, hey, look, we want you to cut another 100,000, and for the Board of Ed maybe 300,000. That's it.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the telltale is really when you go to the public and get the vote. So if they cut too deep and they don't think it's appropriate because, oh, I want another police officer, I don't want to cut that, or I want to make sure they have the programs in the school system. Mm-hmm. They really would come out and enforce and speak publicly at that meeting, and then say they don't want it cut because of X, Y, and Z, or they would say, I think you didn't cut enough, and I think you can do something in certain areas. I think that would be appropriate. So yeah, the Board of Finance, that's the one that drives it. And then we talked early about how difficult it's going to be. And so the idea was to move as best we can to a reduction in our mill rate so we can help people. Now, at the same time, it's like everywhere else, you're talking about the cost of living and the things that increase in prices.
$1.60 for a donut. Okay. And I know that's silly.
Yep.
I know that sounds silly. It's at a medium grade, but how does Plainfield have a 0 mil increase or lower?
Yeah.
During a time like this?
And I'll explain it right now. The issue that every town is up against. If you were to go sell your vehicle right now, what do you think you'd get? Top dollar or better.
You mean my 1994?
Doesn't matter. Top dollar or better.
Well, I don't know. Probably top dollar for that car right now because it's got a
look at the blue book and you'll see.
Engine. Oh no! The blue book on that thing. It's because it's too old.
Yeah.
But really, I don't know, a couple $1,000 because of the way it runs and the engine's new. So
you'd be surprised. You'll probably get more than what you thought.
Oh yeah, no. I know
the values. If you go to your assessor, the assessor will say, well, you know what? Everything for vehicles went up 25%.
Paul is a perfect person to talk about that because Paul just purchased himself another truck. So what
did
are
you
the
find
things?
it? First of all, where'd you find it?
I was very fortunate because
they
ordered it long before I even was looking.
I mean, 2 years ago?
They ordered it in January. It took this long to get.
Okay, now I'll sidestep just a little bit. We've ordered 5 vehicles, 2 for the town hall and 3 for maintenance, and then 3 for the highway department.
Yeah.
7 months ago.
Yeah.
Not going to find them.
No.
We were lucky to find the 2 for the police. That was very, very fortunate because we ordered at the same time. So that's the supply and demand. With those chips not being available and you can't find something, that means that the used vehicles, you can drive by lots. I was over by Vashon dealerships over there in Brooklyn, and there's hardly anything on a lot, even for used vehicles.
Yeah.
So that is driving up the prices, and that's why it went up to 25%. So your evaluations are for the vehicles are 25% up. That's great for a town in regards to how much extra money you're getting. We're getting extra, roughly about $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so if you get an extra $1 million, wouldn't you think that maybe you'd be able to either do more with less, or something along those lines where you can keep your flat mill rate? Or it's tough because you still want programs to go on, you still want things to happen. I mentioned the police. They were looking to add 1 more officer. We're looking to do other things around the town. You don't want to stagnate. You really don't. But you also have contracts you have to worry about. Other programs are happening both within the Board of Education and the town. So at the end of the day, that $1 million was great, but there's other things we cut as well.
Right.
So that's how we get down to the 0.3 reduction, because we thought it'd be fair to the public. You open up your bill from the town and you see your taxes that you owe for your properties, not a problem because it'll be a little lower. But then you open up the bill for your car and it's
A
skyrockets.
little higher.
Yeah. It's good that the town recognizes the situation that everybody's in, and they don't go crazy and try to raise taxes. They try to either go up very little or keep it flat, which is good.
And we tried doing it without taking money out of our fund balance.
Yeah.
I saw that Killingly was taking a little over $2 million out of their fund balance to make that make that work.
So you're very fortunate. You have a lot of revenue coming in, where some towns don't.
Well, and we have other things going on too that obviously took us a step back, like the cyber attack.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you got to pay for
Yeah.
that.
Well, I wanted to get into that too.
Yep,
You know,
we won't.
a little bit. No.
No, it's we're at the point right now where we're very close to recovery, and no, we're not paying for a ransom. Not now, not
See,
ever.
now I heard that you were. That's why I haven't talked to you, and I haven't. I mean, I didn't put anything out there.
I love the rumors. You know,
Well, that's why I waited for you to come in here.
I'll tell you right now, I will never ever pay for ransomware, ever, because there's lots of problems with ransomware. If you were to buckle under and say, okay, here's your whatever dollar value, okay, and they say, well, everything's encrypted, and in order for you to get everything back, we'll give you the keys to unencrypt. Well, you have 7 or 8 files that are encrypted. I mean, talking about major files.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here's 5 keys. Oh, you want the other keys? That's another X, Y, and Z cost. Or did they, as they were there, load down another Trojan horse, which is going to open up later on as well? So you have to hire someone to come in there and make sure everything's clean.
Don't you have an offsite backup?
We did, but it wasn't done properly. So now we've learned our lesson.
Because you could have just simply backed up from
To the cloud.
Yeah.
Yep. There were now we have also dual authentication. So if I was to say that I'm going to be logging in from my phone, I have something here for dual authentication,
Yeah.
and I've got to type a code in within 30 seconds. Otherwise, I got to redo it again.
Yeah.
So those are things we'll be doing training for the staff as to what not to do. We're trying to do obviously bought more hardware, software.
Yeah.
We're working on different firewalls, doing things differently, and it's a little more cost, obviously, but it'll be worth it at the end because we know we can. Look, Paul, if you go home and you open an email, oops.
There you go.
So anybody at any time is vulnerable. It's just a matter of making
Absolutely.
sure
Yeah.
You do the best you can to
Right.
minimize. So that was that. We're almost back.
Still trudging along.
Most of it's the police got hit pretty hard. They're working very hard to get things back up and running.
Oh, I know, because even just us getting press releases, they couldn't do it.
Yep.
You know, because I remember what you had said, but like a few weeks ago, I called over there and I said, "Hey, how come I'm not getting any press releases from you guys? I mean, there's nothing happening in Plainfield." All of a sudden, the dispatchers laughed at me. And so we can go onto our Facebook page and blah, 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 blah. So whatever. But now they're back up. Now I can it's a little different. The
They're
way I'm
much
getting
closer. They are much closer to being almost fully back.
So are these people that did this with nefarious thoughts and ideas? Have they been caught?
Not through our process. We were in contact with the FBI. We were in contact with the state. That's really their field of expertise.
Because you figure it's not just Plainfield, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
I mean,
I would guess. I'm just going to throw a rough number out there. There were probably another 20 other towns and police forces that got hit in Connecticut. I know of quite a few up in Massachusetts. Pretty much the same time. You don't hear about those because they don't want anybody to know that they paid ransomware. Like Bradley got hit at the airport, so it happens.
Oh, it does. Even large companies are getting hit. Yeah.
All right, so we got some comments I want to get to, and just so you know, the names that come up in our that's Facebook user.
Oh,
there is not there isn't a problem with Facebook. If people just they don't see it.
Mhm.
That when you make a comment through StreamYard, which is you don't see StreamYard, you know, you just it says there's an option where it asks you if it can use your name, and you have to click yes or no. If you don't click anything, it automatically goes to no.
Mhm.
So Facebook user, or you can just jump in my own personal profile, you know, and like Mike Broughton. Is it Broughton? I always forget.
I mess it up every time anyway. So
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, Mike. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes, yeah, something is wrong with Facebook. I can't see all of your comments. Might be. So, but that's what it is. Or if we're Facebook friends, you can just Broughton. Broughton. BROW. Is that Brow?
Broughton.
Okay. All right. I'll screw it up next time too, Mike, so don't worry. I will. Yeah, so that's the whole thing with the names.
Mhm.
So like for example, here's Sarah. Look at that. That's her name. So good morning. We made it to another Friday in this COVID world.
Yeah.
How let's hit that a little bit. What's up with how's Plainfield doing with COVID?
Mhm.
Have things changed permanently in some things, like even at town hall? I know down in the town hall down here, the plexiglass is still up. It's going to stay up.
We decided to go with tempered glass as a
Okay.
permanent solution. It's to me, it's not just COVID; it's other things.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody comes into a town hall and they're not feeling well, they're going to come in, even though we've asked them not to. So this is a way to say that whatever issue that there is, we're at least being protective of not only the staff but also
that makes sense.
And the flu has made a return
Yeah,
all of a sudden.
Yeah, we've had a little spike. So our numbers aren't. I think we're at the top of the orange, soon to be red.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean as far as COVID is concerned?
Mhm.
Or- okay. Now, I guess the strain that's going around now is not really as powerful. Or...
Number 43, 44.
How many are there now? It's mutated all to hell. I wanted to talk. You're looking at me.
No, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
I wanted to go back to your car thing.
Oh.
You purchasing a car.
Yeah.
How did
And-
you do that?
You know, and also the fact that, you know, Kevin had said that, you know, you're going to get 25% more. Now, did that happen with you? Because I know one thing just from talking to you, you weren't getting what you felt was fair market value at one point for your trade at ABC dealership
Right.
or whatever, wherever, and you went to multiple places. So what put you over where you actually said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and buy this today?
Well, I don't know if I got top deal because you can't go. They're not going to give you a blue book for it.
No.
That ain't going to happen. You know.
What I'm saying is if you felt you weren't getting,
But I think looking at the numbers and making sure there wasn't any added stuff in there, you know, because they do that to you. You know, one place will offer you big bucks, and then all of a sudden you look and there's an extra fee in there for certain things. So those are the kinds of things.
That's how they catch you.
Yeah, and the other thing too is have going to a dealer that had a vehicle that you wanted.
Yeah.
So you know, they don't really tell you they're adding anything on, but
There's a
they'll
transfer fee.
yeah, they're going to get you one way or another because they got it.
Mhm.
You know, there aren't any vehicles out there.
No.
He's right. You know, I was just very fortunate that just placed at the right time.
well, not just cars, but for example, highway campers
Mhm.
in Plainfield. If you look now, they've got product on the lot again.
Yeah.
And in conversations with Colleen Botello, she had said this is like in the middle, right in smack dab in the middle of COVID.
Yeah.
I had asked her, I called her because I drove by and saw nothing. And I'm like, oh no.
Well, they're loaded now.
Well, no, I know. But then I went, oh no. Did They finally just say, we're done?
They didn't move things out of the way for the snow. And then, no.
No, there was nothing to move.
Yeah.
And I called Robert Colleen. I said, are you guys good? I mean, I go way back to the point where her father, Ed Riley, was my first boss and stuff. So, and she said, no, we're fine and everything. Okay. Well, I see nothing out there. What she told me was in kind of like cars, the chips. They couldn't get the chips. They couldn't get camper-sized fridges and stoves because they're not the same thing that you get for your house. They're different sizes.
Yeah.
Said you couldn't get them. And that's why they couldn't build trailers.
Yeah. Speaking of chips, the one thing, when you buy a new car, they have that when you come to a stop sign, your car shuts down, starts up again. This car does not have it because
the one you have now, the new
out.
truck, yeah.
They took it out because they couldn't get the chip for it. Now, does that make me mad? No, because we all know it's a big pain in the neck when you come to a stop sign. Half the time you just push the button so it doesn't work. But yeah, that was eliminated. Doesn't have it. But going back to the the recreational vehicles, I think we all know that when COVID started, that was the big thing. Everybody was buying one because you could go on vacation and be consumed inside your little RV. You can go on vacation not worrying about people around you, whether you're flying or whatever the hell you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think because of the gas increase and the diesel increase, I think you're going to find that people aren't going to be traveling on those things because where they get 10 or 12 miles to the gallon, I mean, can't afford it.
So your stay vacation is really from your house, walking 10 feet to your trailer.
Yeah, parked in your yard.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, even boats.
Yeah.
People who have these boats, they're glad to get them out for the summer and the spring here. But guess what? Marine gas is not cheap.
Fueling is crying.
Yeah. Yeah. So
what is oil up to right now? 580?
Well, the usual stuff you'll find at the gas station for diesel is very comparative to what you're paying for the home heating oil.
Yeah.
So
They're over
diesel's
6.
right now 629.
Yeah, about
I saw
6 something.
today.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of an argument going on in the chat room.
How to spell or say broken?
No. This was after I showed you. Well, you showed everybody that I did supply you with donuts this morning.
Which is the better place to get donuts?
No. Madeline jumps in and says, donuts are bad for you anyway. And then
well, go ahead. I'll finish that
Mike,
one off.
Mike Broughton. Oh, look, see, he's not Facebook user anymore. His name's there. Turns around and says, Madeline is a liar. Everybody knows that.
Madeline, was it you or you were part of a group that just sold for fundraisers boxes of donuts? And now you're saying it's bad for you?
Cunningham always has that back pocket thing, He's like,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Which, by the way, I bought a dozen and they were very good.
Yeah. A dozen donuts right now is almost $20. Freaking $20.
Oh, we got a deal. I think it was a little less than that.
That's everything.
She said she did have the donut fundraiser. It was for the kids, Kevin, and I didn't have one, she said.
So does that mean more than one?
Victoria, we're getting back to the fuel question, the comments. Yeah. She paid $6.39 for diesel yesterday.
Wow.
That's freaking insane.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's any way to get federal government to work on making changes there.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
You can't get the federal government to work on anything because it's a blame game. And it's going to continue to be a blame game, So nobody's going to admit maybe it might have been their fault.
So I'm showing that as of March 30th, was last updated on this chart's down to 508.
That's way out of whack. Way out of whack. Gas alone is like $4.29. At least the last time I got it.
Yeah.
So
And that's at a third party website.
yeah,
The state, I don't think
they don't
has
update
any.
it. The Malloy froze the gas tax, but it didn't do us any good.
Well, for a week.
Yeah, for a week. Yeah, it made it look good.
And then everybody started pushing their numbers up, or they had to follow the
They're getting their
guideline
money
of the
back. Yep.
federal governments.
The average price in Connecticut for a gallon of gas, according to AAA, is $4.40.
Yeah.
AAA's national average is $4.43.
And is that without tax?
That's without the tax. That's just the
Oof.
Yeah. It all depends where you go too. So if you go down towards Norwich, it's a little higher. Up here, or I don't know, maybe it's a little cheaper in Plainfield. I don't know.
It's a little cheaper out in Litchfield County, which is weird.
Yeah. Well, Litchfield, that's pretty much
is that
what.
based on where the fact that they are the
In New Haven County.
yeah, that's why, because that's where all the
That's
oil
where
comes in.
comes in from.
Yeah.
Lately, I'd been buying gas out in Plainville just because, I'd go out there and get my daughter and stuff, but it was always about a dime cheaper. Now it's a dime more expensive.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Did I just sound Canadian saying that? It's a dime more cheaper.
Hey,
I'm trying to find, let's see what the oil rates are. Yeah.
The one thing I was talking while you're looking that up, talking about oil, I used to get deliveries. They'd come and they bring, because I have an automatic delivery, and they would bring, 200 gallons, fill a pickup. They didn't come as often. Now they're coming like every other week. They're bringing like 50 gallons a week. They're really delivering that small quantities now because of the price increase.
See,
that's a few $100.
The one website I was looking at is, but then again, this goes back to March 28th. Residential heating oil is saying 507.
No, that's
Right.
That's a couple months old. So
changes
we,
It's
we, it's
not.
up over
It's like
6.
2 weeks old.
March 7th.
March 28th.
Oh, March 28th. That's we're into
Oh, no, you're right. We're in May.
May.
God, we are living in a matrix.
Yeah, we are. So it's well over 6.
I heard a really, really weird theory today, this morning before I came in, on like gravity. If gravity was really a thing, then the Earth would look like all the water down on the bottom of the globe. You know what I mean? And the Earth is fat, and we're living in a dome.
Yeah, but just
So
think
birds aren't real; they're drones.
But with the rotation,
Yeah.
one day you're going to have waters above your head. It's gonna,
well, isn't gravity a real thing? I mean,
it is.
Some people say no, it's not.
Uh,
Some people say gravity's not real.
okay.
Some people say birds aren't real, that they're drones. And some people identify as cats. Have you heard that?
What?
Some people now are identifying as cats. They're called furries.
Okay.
And it, I know it, there is an effect here in Griswold. I don't know about Plainfield. You ever see the kids wearing the little cat ears?
No.
No. Or you
When and
block
I
that
were
out of your
going-
head?
When you and I were going to school years
Yeah.
and years ago, and we said something like we identify as cats, what do you think would happen to us then?
First, you go to the principal's office, and you would get
A lot of questions.
a lot of questions. You get interrogated pretty well, and then mom and dad would show up. Mom probably crying, wondering why my kid has lost their cookies, right? And then right to a psychiatrist you would be off to.
long before that, you would have had about a half a dozen wedgies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or you-
Before that even happened, you would have got wedged.
Or you would have been bold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or swirly.
Yeah.
It's just
Different world.
It's a completely different world. It really honestly is. I don't know How much time do you have left? It's 10 to 9.
I'm good.
You good? Okay. What was the other thing I was gonna like for example, mental health.
Yep.
Now this is National Mental Health Awareness Month
Mm-hmm.
in May. When we were kids, if you had some sort of crisis or we were looked at as being a little shit. You know what I mean? We, like, stop it, shut up, suck it up, you'll be fine. That's the way, and that's just the way that it was looked at. These days, it's a complete process.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring in this person. It's just everything is different. And I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's completely different.
Yeah.
Than the way it was back then.
Yep.
It's absolutely crazy. Were you bad in school? Well,
I plead the fifth. No, I was never really got into major trouble. So
me either. I was too afraid. I was afraid what was going to happen.
I think
Yep.
most kids back then were really good. Yeah,
I think most kids today are still really good. It's just it's different.
Yeah.
They're looked at
Yeah.
differently in how they do things. It's just which Kevin, what would you say is the biggest communication gap between you and maybe say Generation Y?
not knowing what Gen Y is,
20, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds.
I try to keep up on as much as I can what's going on, but you can never keep up.
No.
There's no way. So
No,
just try to have an open mind and be able to listen to someone is probably the big way for me to go with being able to help out or communicate with somebody. So
I do think we have a lot more of an open mind today
Mhm.
than we did, back, say 1980, 1978 in that area. So we're not even talking about Plainfield right now. Let's circle back.
general,
Huh?
it's just general stuff. The way
Yeah.
the world is.
So what's next for the town of Plainfield? Go ahead. You were
I was
gonna
going to say I was going to get to that. There's a lot of things that are happening. A lot of events that are going on. A lot of different things that the town is doing. I know that just to mention a few, if you don't mind,
Go for it.
we're still going to do another Project Pin fundraiser on the 21st of this month on a Saturday for a couple of hours. Their supplies, as I'm sure other community kitchens and supply areas are getting short, especially as it comes into the summertime. So for the kids, we're looking to get a lot of support with donations and different product for the kids throughout the summer. We have other things going on as well coming up. We were about to have a Vietnam veterans ceremony with the lieutenant governor, and that got pushed off because we thought we had the date all locked up, and they said no, you don't have that one anymore. So we're going to do that in July. We have a bunch of different music series on Wednesdays at the Alliance Park coming up. The usual things that also happen every year. We get Reason to Ride coming up on June 12th over the VFW.
VFW. Yeah.
Yep. After
What's
that,
the date on that?
June 12th.
Okay.
In July 14th, I believe, we have the bike night downtown's closed off. We're going to have the Celebrate Plainfield Day on August 6th on a Saturday. And then the same night, we're going to have fireworks like we did last year over at the Shepherd Hill School.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next weekend is the VJ Parade. So I'm very
America's
happy.
only VJ
Only.
parade.
I'm very happy to see things actually opening up again. Just driving up here, I see some signs about different events that are happening in town here. So it's good to see that we're moving past those issues we've had in the past with COVID and being able to be able to do things we did before. So that's really good to see.
We have one of the big events in Griswold is happening tomorrow, which is Eggtopia, along with the community yard sale, which is going to be down at Veterans Memorial Park.
Right.
So that's happening tomorrow. Did you know that, Paul?
Yes, it did.
You did?
Yeah, I think they also need to remind people what's happening on Sunday with the human trafficking training that's going on.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Heard of the programming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a program going on Sunday at the Griswold Fire Department on 138 from 4 to 6. Free program to bring people up on what human trafficking is. And it's unfortunate because I don't think we're getting the number of people that are interested in it. I mean, it's an important issue that I think people are just blowing off, not realizing how important it is.
There's a lot of important issues like that. You were talking about mental health.
Yeah.
It's very important there as well, and the trafficking.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's even just a matter of the information that you put out to the public about, where you can find the help and where you can find the support. I know I had something when I was in office years ago, and I'm going to recreate it. It's basically a list of everything your town or region has to offer for where simple things like where is there a place for laundromat, or where's your local churches, or where's your local mental health support. Those are the types of information you're going to be able to give and support for people coming in. You just don't know where things are, especially for the new residents.
Sure.
They walk in and they just no idea. I've got 2 neighbors across the street, one that just moved in from Rhode Island and one moving in from Massachusetts. I'm sure they don't have any clue about where things are in town. But I'd like to be able to utilize a one-stop shop. You go punch it in and you can figure out where things are, what is available, including mental health. I've got about 8 pages of where things are for national phone numbers or for local places you can go to for those types of supports.
I think that's one of the biggest differences that I know of between then and now. Like when I was a kid and now that I'm not, is the care that's available for mental health and how they treat things. And it's so much better today, that is, than it was. Because like I said, they didn't care. It was like, shut up, go sit down, you'll get over it. But,
So you know that I was on the board of directors for United Services
Yes, I did.
Yep.
Yes.
It's an important aspect of our fabric of our society, really be able to be supportive of each other and helpful. And through those companies that have professional help and support, sometimes they're backed up to the point where they don't. There's not enough people there to help them out, but they are there. And there's, like I said, there's other areas you can go to for support too.
And that's your training too, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, in the mental health field. So, Daryl, who owns the Healthy Computer, School Street, Jewett City. All right. Daryl says, I totally believe in mental health. What I see, and I agree with this, in some parents, he goes, not all, get their child diagnosed with issues and then they stop parenting. They use the diagnosis as a reason why a child behaves a certain way and expect others to accept the behavior instead of continuing to parent.
First line of support is the parent. Absolutely. They're there with the child all the time, other than being in school. They're there all the time, so they have to be the first line for support. And that's very unfortunate to see if that is happening, but it does.
What about a racetrack, NASCAR track coming back? Big ideas for that?
All right. Let's talk about that for 1 minute. There never was going to be a NASCAR track ever. If anybody is disputing that, I'll show you the plans that the developer gave me on paper, what it was going to be. And it certainly wasn't that. If you think that a domed NASCAR track, which would make you deaf,
It'd kill you with the fumes. Yeah.
So I don't care what they said. That was never going to be a track, and I opened my doors to that developer when I got into office. He never came, and then he finally called me and talked to me about what he had for a project. At the end, he said, "Well, what about Great Wolf Lodge?" Well, then, had you come to the town of Plainfield with that up front and put that through the processes, maybe that could have gone through. But that's not really it.
Which is going to one of the casinos.
Yeah.
Right now, it's got to be opened up by fall. Am I right? Probably wrong. But.
Yep. So there was never going to be a NASCAR track. I don't want anybody to be disillusioned thinking that it was. Do you think that maybe an open NASCAR track in this area would be appropriate? Why don't we talk to NASCAR first? Because NASCAR would be the one to dictate if they're going to have a track and be part of NASCAR. Yeah. Not go the other way around. Build it and then they'll come.
Right. Yeah. Daryl says that 395 is a NASCAR track. Victoria says Foxwoods, that's where Great Woods Lodge is going to go. Mike Broughton. I'm more interested in an ice cream shop at the moment.
Oh, then I've got some good news for you. We'll talk
Oh.
afterwards.
Okay.
I don't want to divulge the information unless I talk directly to the owner, but I think you'll be pleasantly pleased with what will be coming soon, hopefully.
Okay. And Shayna, the illest. She's the illest. No racetrack. Just kidding. The fumes and noise would drive you nuts.
Yep. I think
you're
what we
already the illest. So, I mean, now you'd be Shayna the sickest. So, not all winners, folks. They're not all winners.
Yep.
So, what else is coming to Plainfield?
Let's see.
And I know I asked that question a lot because there's a lot that's happening in the town of Plainfield.
Yep, and it changes. I mean, there's some projects which we thought were coming forward, and unfortunately, with the increase in costs, one of
even Villa Maria.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
new ownership.
Fantastic. New ownership.
Yep,
things they got their old nursing administrator back.
Yep, I actually put a call into Lisa the other day. She was busy. Hasn't gotten back to me since, Lisa. But I'd like to talk to Lisa about some personal issues and see if we can work on something, or at least she can give me some guidance.
Yep.
I met Steve Farah, the owner, and the partner. I can't remember his name offhand, but they are very, very want to be part of the fabric of the community. So they are already invested in it, and they said they will continue. So that's fantastic. That's what I love seeing about different businesses that come in. The first thing they say when they walk in the door, look, I'll see if I can use this without actually naming a name. The owner just bought a company that's in town, is going to revamp it a little bit, and said, I still want to be part of the community. What things can I, look to go to and approach? So I gave them the numbers of Little League, and I gave them the numbers for the Rams football league.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're looking to see if we can get more things like that coming in to give opportunities to be part of the community and help out. So there's a lot of that. There were 2 different solar companies that were coming in looking to put in projects. One of them was delayed, if not, may never come, based on the fact of what the economy is doing. Eversource gave them a deal up front saying, okay, we can tie into the grid if you can do X, Y, and Z, and the cost was, not too bad. Now that everything is going on with the world and the nation, the costs are too much, so they're going to hold off for right now. This other one is still going to come forward.
Do you think that the whole push on solar and electric cars and that kind of stuff has to do, or should I say, let me back that up, the price of fuel now is indicative of where the country wants everybody to go to? Like when they're trying to say, okay, this is way too expensive, now we're going to push you to electricity.
Yeah, that's been in discussion for maybe 40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea when we were growing up was they were talking about then.
It's the biggest push now than I've
well,
ever seen.
It is. The problem is, and I don't know, maybe I'm misinformed, but have you been over to the Lisbon Landing parking lot area and seen that they have
Teslas?
Yeah. What's right beside it?
I don't know.
It's a generator.
Oh.
Run by what?
Gas.
Okay.
I saw a meme the other day. It's funny you say that. It's it was a gas generator charging an electric car. So anyway.
Yeah, how do you think they're going to get the electricity?
Well,
solar.
Okay.
We're so far away from going totally not dependent on fossil fuels.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even know how they're going to fly a plane yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are.
Oh, you're not going to have planes anymore.
We're just going to teleport. That's coming.
As long as the generator doesn't go down.
Yeah. I mean, we all know that the environmentalists are really pushing this whole green stuff, and I think that's what's causing.
Oh, don't hold back. This green stuff.
Yeah, we all know. I don't want to get into the politics, but
no, not you.
But we all know that's what's happening and why we're in this fix we are right now because of this energy.
Victoria says that we don't have the infrastructure to support people plugging in cars right now.
Well, we don't.
The town has been approached by a couple companies saying, okay, we can work with you on putting up some of those stations. And I'm thinking, where, if I was put one at the town hall, where are we going to actually, how is it going to be powered up, and who's going to be responsible for maintaining it? And then the town had that, I'd be fielding calls on it all the time. How come your station isn't working? Or
Well, I think a lot of people, once you get an electric car, I think people will be putting stations in their garages. Personally, I think they're like $1,200 or $1,400 to put one in your garage. So why would you not? Back your car in the garage at night, plug it in the morning, take off. It's fully charged. I mean, that would be the intention, I would think.
Anything else, Kevin, you want to cover that we haven't covered, or something you want to talk about, bring up, or?
Let's see. I'm looking for a positive result from Monday. We'll just basically be going to the meeting and opening it up for brief discussion and hoping to move the questions so we can get some positive results. Because here's the problem: like anything else, whenever there's a budget, if you get voted down, you got to make more cuts. That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
That doesn't bode well for a lot of the things we'd like to do with Board of Education and the town, because there's, for anybody knowing how this all played out, I offered to, knowing that we need to get a lower number. That I was asked by one of the Board of Finance members, a couple of them actually, hey, is it possible for me to make more cuts? And they said, throw out a number, 65,000. I said, yeah, I can look to that, do that, and I'll bring it back at the next meeting. So what I brought back was actually a much larger number. And there's a reason for that. We really, really looked intently at the numbers, and we were able to come back with what ended up being $133,000. Part of that reasoning for me was I also, a former member of the Board of Education, support education along all those lines. I think that it's important to know that if I only did 65,000, that now the Board of Ed might be responsible for more for when they ask them to make cuts. So I did my best to try to whittle down to help them out a little bit. So we'll see how that works. But I would anticipate any questions. We'll give as best we can for answers on Monday. And again, we'll go right to a vote. And hopefully that night we'll know the numbers and be able to pass on and move forward.
All right. Paul, do you have anything else for the first selectman of Plainfield?
No, I do not. Let you off easy.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Kev.
Hey, anytime.
It's good to see you.
As long as I got some free time on a Friday, which
I brought you a donut. You didn't even eat a donut.
I'm going to take one.
All right. That is our visit today with First Selectman Kevin Cunningham in the town of Plainfield. Thank you very much, everybody, for stopping on in today. We really appreciate you and your time that you give to us every single day. But eat those. They're at a premium, dude. They're expensive.
That's why he was complaining.
I just want somebody to eat them, don't go to waste. Friday's always quick. Dave Polino, 9 o'clock is where we go on Friday. Every other day is 10.
But now you're going to breakfast?
And Dave, I got your voicemails. Just got them. Haven't listened to them yet, though. All right, have a good day, everyone. Stay safe, and don't forget tomorrow is Eggtopia in the town of Griswold and the community art sale down at Veterans Memorial Park. Have a good day.
Life is full of choices. At Jewett City Savings Bank, we can make one choice easy: finding the right checking account. We offer a range of affordable accounts to fit your budget and needs, and each gives you the freedom to access your money the way you want, online, through our mobile app, or with your debit card. It's your money and your choice. To learn more about the account that's right for you, stop by one of our offices or visit us at jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank, member FDIC.
Don't just wish for a winning deal, make it Dish. It will make it real. Don't just wish, make it Dish.
Hey everyone, this is Ellis Dish from Dish Motors. We're back better than ever with our new sales and service center on